What's up, guys? I hope you guys are all doing well during this quarantine and staying healthy. Over the years, I've been asked to give a tutorial on how to give haircuts. I've been giving myself a haircut since probably I was 13 or so, starting off with a simple buzz cut, cutting it all down to nothing, and then working my way up to styling it the way I thought it was cool. And yeah, I kept doing it ever since. I went to Bible college and cut all my buddies' hair for free and just gave everybody the Colton cut, which was basically a simple fade. And yeah, I've just learned things over the years cutting my own hair. I don't recommend you doing this as a full-time thing. I recommend you supporting your local barbers and helping them, especially, after this whole thing is over. They're going to be needing some help since they were not able to do this, to go support your local barbers. But for times like this where we're stuck inside the home, this is just a way to maybe give you some guidelines on some help to cut your own hair. I'm going to be giving tips for a fade, and this could be for any size fade, whether you're doing it like mine where it's from nothing, or if you have longer hair and you want to fade it up with longer guards. The same principles apply whether you're using short hair or long hair. And yeah, you're just using different clippers. And yeah, so for people like missionaries that we've been working overseas, I cut all of my family's hair. We don't have a barber around us, so it's been a super helpful tool. So I can hope this helps you guys during this quarantine time, and that yeah, you guys don't mess up your hair too bad. And if you do, luckily we're stuck at home. All right, for this haircut, you're gonna need several tools: a spray bottle, a mirror, some scissors, and your clippers. I got my clippers from Walmart, but you can get them from any pharmacy as well. I'd recommend getting the ones that aren't the cheapest, but you don't have to go super expensive either. 30 to 50 bucks will do the trick. And we're going to be doing a fade. I'm starting from no guard and working my way up, but you can use any guards you want. Just get the 3 levels. We're going to do 3 different levels of it, so pick out the 3 layers that you want to do, whether you're starting from a 2 and going to a 4 or whatever you would like. And so first you got to figure out the line of what you're going to cut. You're going to do a low fade, a medium fade, or a high fade, depending on how much hair you want to take off. So you're going to figure out that, and then you're going to get the clipper, the first guard that you want. I'm doing no guard at the beginning, and I'm going to be working up to a line. That line for me with this high fade is right around the temple. So I'm cutting off the bulk of the hair, getting up to that temple line, and you want to try to make a straight line around your head. And I go to about where the back of my head, as far as I can see in a mirror, and then I work to the other side. And you go up to the same height, looking at the mirror so you can have symmetrical height. And you just kind of work your way around on the other side as well, and to the point where you can't see on either side of your head. And you'll need a mirror for that. So you either get a mirror or you have someone help you. In the beginning, I had someone help me, but now I use a mirror. Now with this, you're going to go slow because your brain's going to play tricks on you. Hand's going to do the opposite of what you think. So go slow and work your way up to that line. Remember, you can always take more off, but once you take it off, you can't put it back on. So go slow when you're in the back, work your way up to that line, and then you can go to the next. And then I put on a clipper. I actually go to the highest one, and I'm going to go to where my hairline is, reach the top of my head. So we're just cutting off the side. You don't want to get the hair on the top. So get that out of the way. And then I'm just brushing off that hair. This is a maintenance trim, so it's actually not taking off a lot. Now I use that little slider on the side to actually get the fade right. You start with it open, meaning the clippers are going to cut longer, and then you close it, and then you work your way around the head. I go all the way around the back, and then I just, get that bulk of the hair off the side, leaving the hair that's on the top. Then I work my way down to the next level. For me, it's a 1, I think it's a 1 on this one. And I have it with an open guard, so I open up that pulley thing there on the side, and then I work my way down. I don't go as high as I did last time, but I'm going slightly lower than I did the first time. And with this, I have to use a mirror so that I don't clip up too high, taking off too much hair. And I work my way around, just cutting off the bulk. You'll be able to hear hair coming off with the clippers. Then I close it, and when I close it, I go again, bringing it back around. Will take off just slightly more hair, not a whole lot, but maybe like 1/8 of an inch. And this will just get rid of a line. You don't want lines in your haircut, and that's the problem with a fade, is usually you'll see where people have the different guards on and have different lines. So by sliding that slider, you can actually erase those lines. Now I'm going to my shortest guard, and I'm opening it up, and then I'm gonna go around again, and then I'm gonna use to kind of maybe fade in my beard just slightly. I don't fade it too much, but yeah, go around again, slightly lower, trying to erase those lines, making no hard lines. Go around the back, making sure that you're not going up too high. As I clip upward, I kind of pull away from my head so that I don't clip too much off. And I really make sure the back at this point is starting to look straight because it's going to have to line up. And then I push the guard down so that it's closed, and I go around one more time. And then finally I have no guard and I open it all the way up, and this is going to get rid of that last line. And so this should hopefully, after this last bit here, we should be able to not have a line. So you see there, you'll see a slight line. I'm just going to barely be touching that and going over it until, if there is a line, that it disappears and it looks like a good fade from your shortest to the next one. And I go around doing this on every part of my haircut, making sure this part is really good, because you go too high, you're cutting into your other fade and then you're messing things up. So go really slow on this part. For this haircut, I'm doing actually a hard part on the side, disconnected. And so I'm actually taking off all the hair on this one side. If you're doing a normal fade, you wouldn't be doing this, but for my hairstyle that I like to do, it's kind of almost an undercut where I'm just using the shortest length on the one side and going all the way up to where my hair naturally parts. And so to get off all that bulk, I hold my hair where I can see that part, and I cut up to it, getting off all the little hairs. It sometimes takes a long time to do that. From there, you want to get your spray bottle or your water. You're going to spray your hair, get it nice and wet on top. If there's any gel or any product in your hair, you want to get that out. And you want to see where your hair is standing. If you have really long hair, this is probably going to be harder, but you can still do it. So I get that. I'm finding my comb. I can find it for a second, but there it is. So I got the comb. I kind of comb it up to see what the length is looking like. I'm not going to take a lot off, but I'm just seeing where my hair is at. And I'm looking at my beard too. I'll probably take a little bit off just the wild hairs that grow. So I'm combing that out, not getting my beard wet because it changes the shape. And then I use my fingers as a guide. I put my fingers there, and wherever it's actually a little bit longer, I'm going to cut the long bits off. These scissors aren't super sharp, so my hair is just kind of folding. But if you have good scissors, it should just cut right off. And using my fingers to hold it the same length far apart from my head the entire way back, I will cut all the hairs. And yeah, same with this. Less is more. So just start by taking a little bit off. You can always take more off. Even I do that. I'll go back and I'll take more off. Some of these hard ones that were cut, the scissors weren't cutting, so I had to hold them up with my fingers to get them. And especially around the back, I have a couple cowlicks that don't like to fall down, so I cut those a little bit shorter with my fingers just by feel, because they don't comb down. And then with my front of my hair, I leave it a little bit longer where I style it. I have a cowlick in the front too that I try to hide. So you're just trying to shape the hair whatever style you are looking for. Mainly, if you're just doing maintenance, to clip off the tops of any split ends, just to make it look nice again. So you're clipping off all of it, going through it several times. You might have some that lay down and hide. So cut off any of the stragglers. And then from there, you can use your scissors to texturize your hair. Or if you have texturizing scissors, you can use them to fade in the top of your hair to the side of your hair so it's not a straight line, unless that's what you're into. And then I use thinning shears around my hair because it's super thick. So I have these thin shears that I go in with, and I just clip them, and it just kind of cuts some of the hair. And then you just comb it out, and there's a ton of hair that comes out with it. And that just thins out my thick hair a little bit. And I'm styling it the way I would actually style it to make sure that I'm getting off everything that I want. I see that there's a little bit length on one side. I can cut more. And whatever way you're going to style, just go back and look at it again. Now for the beard trim, I actually use the clippers. If you're new to this, I don't recommend it. But I have nothing on it, and I'm going straight down, not to the curve of my face, but to the shape that I want my beard. And I'm just going straight down, cutting off any stray hairs that may not want to lay down. And I work my way around my beard, making sure it's straight and doing that, taking barely anything off. Then I go underneath the bottom, any stragglers I cut off, shape my beard a little bit. This will help with any split ends that may appear or any hairs that maybe grow at longer lengths. I'm not doing a huge beard trim here, just a light maintenance on the beard as well. But if you don't have a beard, then you don't have to worry about that. And then the neckline is the hardest part. I would recommend having someone help you, especially if you have longer hair, because you're going to be having no guard on and you're cutting off those neck hairs. I use my finger as a guide, so I feel where the back of my hair is, and I actually cut up to that line of my finger. But again, this is after years of practice, so I would recommend, if you're new to this, having someone help you for this part, because it can get really crazy fast. Then I just go back at the very end and look for maybe some straggling hairs that I missed. And I just go back over it, and there you go. You got yourself a fade. Hopefully this helps you during this quarantine time, that you can have a nice fade.